So a lot of my friends are talking about all the different period pieces that are currently out there on television. But what makes you feel that Outlander is very different from the rest of them?
Well, I think what's great about our show for the fans is that each season is a different book. Each season is a different look. And I was telling someone a minute ago that I was in editing the other day because we had to do a pickup shot, and they were panning through very quickly, just skimming through the whole year of all the different sets. And it's a whole different look, and it's quite beautiful. I think it's very rich. I think that's what we try to do, even when it's a down and dirty tavern or whatever. We try to make it as rich and beautiful as possible because we want the show to be sexy. I mean, we've got very sexy actors. They're brilliant. We love it. And we want people to watch the show and go, oh, it's amazing. You know, and that's the goal, is to make it as beautiful and sexy as possible.
And if you had time traveling abilities, are there any scenes or sets going back into a previous season you're like, oh, I wish I had time to put that in from the book, or I just wish I could just change a couple things in the background?
To be honest, I don't have time to think about that because we're always moving. As Ron said the very first season, I said, we have no permanent sets. And he goes, nope, you can just keep moving, Gary. The books move forward, and they're always moving. So we build a lot. And there's always new taverns, there's always new sets. And I have to admit, it's what keeps it from getting slow and boring. You know, it's always new, always different. So it's fun.
Are you someone who's a fan of putting in hints into your sets for the fans, or do you prefer kind of just the way it is?
We do. In the past, different places, we've put little odds and end things, like print shops or Gellis's places. We've done things. At the top of my head, at the second, I can't think of any, and I wouldn't tell you anyway, but there are symbols. We always put symbols in things. Some, you know, like for instance, everybody knows in the print shop sign, there's tons of symbols in that, but there are symbols in a lot of fireplace mantles or walls. There are different graphics on walls and things, like the, what was it called? The Star Chamber from Paris. That had tons of symbols of alchemy and all sorts of stuff in it. So every now and then, we stick stuff in signage. I'll turn to the graphics person and I go, why don't we stick something in here? You know, so people can always just look, and sometimes I'll catch them. Like whatever year it was, there was something from the 60s in Gellis's room that basically was a nod that she might be from the 60s. There's things like that. And sometimes people catch it. I'll get a tweet, thing like that every now and then, go, oh, we saw, you know. They're all excited about that stuff, and so it's great.
So friends of mine who are huge television and also movie aficionados, they could see something and they could recognize, I know who designed that set. What do you feel is your particular style that you put into it when you design?
I think the last 2 or 3 seasons, I think it's color. First season, we didn't have much color, but I think, for instance, if I asked, like someone sent me a note once, wanting to know the color of the apothecary, and I wrote back, I can't give you a color because it's 12 layers. I'll pick a color, I'll pick a bunch of colors. We do samples, and then they glaze them, age them, rub them with waxes. Then they put another layer of shellac. What I'm trying to do is make it as deep and rich as possible. Most of the colors are always very deep and dark that we use for sets on Outlander. And I like that because it's rich, and I want it to be as rich as possible. Even like taverns, you'll see it for the next season that they're deep, rich colors. And I'm trying to, that's our look. Sometimes I'll see one, like a sample, and I go, that's not an Outlander. That's just too pale. Then, of course, Boston had completely its own different look. But I'm always playing with the color to try to give it a different look each year.
So now fans have kind of a hint to what your style would be and for future ones. Thank you so much. Thank you.